So until now, we discussed about default material, default light, okay, and modeling. So we're going to continue again some more advanced portion. But in this advanced portion, when I'm doing just to get a good quality result, a photorealistic result, okay, we have its own light, its own material and all. The same time, rendering method is something different. What we are doing now we are doing default Scanline Render. For example, let me press F10 on the keyboard. You get render settings, F10 on the keyboard. You can see here, render type, what we are doing, Scanline Render, Scanline. So what is the 3dsmax default rendering method? Scanline Render, okay? This is what we are doing. In Scanline Render, if I'm choosing from here, when I click render, I'm getting a result. This is from Scanline Render, okay? In this Scanline Render, we are using default light. You can see here, when you go to standard, these are the lights we are using, except these two, okay? Remaining, we have taken this. I think Skylight we have not discussed. This all we discussed, okay? I'll just quickly will tell you Skylight, then we'll go to the next one. So we are doing Scanline Render, okay? Skylight is also part of Scanline Render. I'll show you an example of Skyline Render. Make a plane, have a T-port. Divisions you add. Now, see, when I render, what's the result? This is the result I'm getting, right? It is visible through this way. So there was a settings I told you before. In F10, press F10 on the keyboard, force two-sided. You need to switch on, then you will be getting a result proper. Okay. Now see what I'm going to do. I'm using this Skylight. Standard Skylight. Remaining all we discussed, except this two. Click on Skylight. See, this is a Skylight. You can keep anywhere. This doesn't have any problem. Not like Spotlight or Omni Light. You keep anywhere, no problem. Okay. In this Skylight, if you switch on, you can go to options over here. And when you render now, you can get a result, but the quality will be flat result. It's flat. Okay. Don't show. It is not showing any detail. So in this light property, there is an option called cast shadow. When you switch on this one, you can see a beautiful result which we are getting in an exterior. So it's a little heavy, you see it's taking time, but a perfect output. So when you done your last exercise, you try to render with this one. It's a little bit heavy. If you have many objects, it takes a lot of time to render, but you can see the detail, you can see the shadow, you know, matte kind of result, perfect result, you know, you can get with the Skylight. Beautiful result. Not reflective result now, it's a matte result, is very good. Even reflective subjects also can do it. So what are the light it is reaching here? It's based on the sky color. You can see this kind of white color it's attaching here. You know, it's reaching over here from the environment. This color you can change it. You can put some sky map and all on it. Okay, but it's a little heavy. You can see the shadow is very smooth shadow, beautiful shadow. Okay, this color can be changed. Or when you click on the sky map, not much big reflection is going to happen now here. But still I'm going to put something. It takes a lot of time to show you. I think I need to show you some reflective material and reflection and all. Then that kind of color going to, I mean, this kind of map going to appear on some reflections and all. But actually, even in production, we're not going to use this one. We're using some other method to get that kind of result. What I'm telling, this is called when we render something. For example, you have a car you modeled. On the car glass, you need to get a reflection on the environment. So we use some technique. Okay. So it is, we are doing in some of the high quality. But when you discuss about Skylight, you can switch on. Why not showing the reflections? Because this is not a reflective material. Okay. But this is, you can for time being ignore. But what it is doing, if it is material, if I'm changing some reflections and all, you can think about it. But it's take a long time if I want to show you that. Let me check if I can get it quickly something or not. The map, reflections, I switch on. They add, didn't add ray tracing and all. But this is not the way we're going to do advanced way to this photorealistic result. There is something called environment map we're going to do with 8. I teach you something. When you press 8, it go to background color. It can choose. I will show again. It's not reaching everywhere. See, using this 8, when you press number 8, here we are changing the color of the background, right? See here. Now white color background gonna come, right? 8. So here we're going to apply the map. So I'll come to the sessions later. Okay, so what I told you, now you can add a map over here, but it is not perfectly visible. You can add a map here also to get that ambient over here. Okay, now this is white color, right? It's coming full blue now. The reason because sky color I'm changing. Sky color. So everything become that color. Okay. So always we like to prefer white color or light blue touch again. Then it is not affecting everywhere. It's our default color. It is staying over there. So this is what exactly Skylight. But in the Skylight, the problem why we are not using much, because when you have a lot of element, it takes long time to render. Long time to render on color. But even if you wait, you will be getting a beautiful shadow. Okay, that's important. So only color can change it. Environment didn't see because of this reason. If you want to remove it, clear. Okay, reflection can be do. Cast shadow, you need to switch on to get detail. This is all about Skylight. So after that, the Skylight one more time. Skylight, you added. Switch on the cast shadow, sky color if you want. You set it. This is only important things you do maps and all. Ignore for time being. Okay. Then I'm going to say little bit advanced type of render if you want. We are using something called mental ray. NVIDIA is on, so the company is NVIDIA. Mental ray is a production quality ray tracing application for 3D rendering. Scanline Render is one of the rendering method what we are using. This 3dsmax is giving. This is something extra which we are using, but it's coming with a mental ray in the last version. The latest versions is not coming default. We need to install extra. Same like which we're going to study end of the sessions, which end of the course. V-Ray render. V-Ray render is another type of render. Here we are getting photorealistic render. Computer generated imaginary rendering software application developed by Chaos Group. Okay, this is not with not with the NVIDIA, it's a different company. This also we install separate in our computer, then we will connect it. Then we can render through this way. It's have its own material, it's have its own lighting and all. Same like that. Now we are doing mental ray render. Why we use mental ray render? Why we use what is that? 3D. Why we use mental ray render? Why we use V-Ray render and all? Because there is a concept which is called light bouncing. For example, if a light comes through, for example, this is a window. Through this way, if a light is coming, it's a room, okay? If a light is coming here, it will see what kind of material it is. If it is reflective or matte, based on that, it will change. But of course, what will happen after this light's going to bounce, right? Bounce to here. So it will not bounce. How much strong is it? This may be more stronger. When bouncing, it will be less, right? After this will bounce again. Then it will bounce again. Correct? Then maybe it bounce back here. It bounce here. That is the reason that we don't have any light. Maybe we switch off all the light. Only sunlight is there. Through window, the light is coming to room. But if the light is coming through the window, only that area should have light, right? Nowhere else should have light. So, but the result what we are getting in the real world, one light is coming through a window, but that light hitting to somewhere, then bouncing. That's the reason we are seeing the light everywhere. So the concept is light bouncing. Bouncing happen. So this bouncing is not like realistic, right? It's not like real world 3dsmax. 3dsmax is computer generating, right? So we need to control this lighting. How much should bounce? So actually the first bounce is called primary bounce. Secondary, after this one, we all call secondary bounce. Okay. So we discuss this one very detailed when we discuss about V-Ray. But at least understand now in Mendel Ray also light bouncing happening. That is the reason we are getting more photorealistic result. Even I teach you Scanline Render, but I didn't teach you much about getting reflections, getting mirror material, getting steel material. You know, we don't get 100% realistic, but still we can try similar, but not perfect result. In production, always either you use Mendel Ray or you use it V-Ray or similar other method. There are many other methods to render. We need to depend on anything. So which is very important, Mendel Ray, because your all works you're going to render through Mendel Ray or V-Ray. But we are going to study this too. That's the reason you're using any of these two. Mendel Ray has its own material. Mendel Ray has its own light. So what we are doing, we are not using normal material from here. We will have its own material we will be using, Mendel Ray. It's not coming here because our rendering method is not that. So if you want to see the Mendel Ray, before starting your work or before starting your material or lighting, after modeling, see the modeling is same. Even Scanline Render, even in Mendel Ray or V-Ray, modeling what we study, same method we are using. There is nothing new in that. When we're giving a material, we're not going to use this material. We're using a different material. What are the different material? Before you give material or before you give light, you press F10 on the keyboard. Then in this render settings, default it is written Scanline Render. This we're going to change to NVIDIA Mendel Ray. When you do this one, your render settings also change to Mendel Ray. Same time, when you open F10 from here, when you press M from here, material, material, when you click on this, you select any material. When you click on the standard button, you can see something new comes now, right? Can you see? Few things came default. And moreover, you can see here, Scanline below, you can see Mendel Ray. So in Mendel Ray, there are many categories. This one came why? If you are not able to see in your screen, ensure this one in your F10, your render settings, F10, you might not switch on, you might not switch to Mendel Ray. If you switch to Mendel Ray, then only when you press material, you can see Mendel Ray material. So we're going to use some of the Mendel Ray material from here now onwards. We're not going to use default material. At the same time, I go to my light. I'm using photometric light. We started to use photometric light. MR light. You can see MR means not Mr. MR, Mendel Ray. Standard, we have MR area, omni MR area spot. So we're going to use this one. So this is all about Mendel Ray. I have to say in introduction. This is the things you have to know. But before, one things I want to say, when you press F10, how can I increase and decrease the size of the render? You can do from here. Okay, you can see the output size. That means ignore about Mendel Ray. If I have an object, I want to render this. I want to render this one. When you press F9, you can see this is the result. I'm going to get it right. This is my size. How can I increase and decrease? This is Mendel Ray now. That's why even the render method has changed. So I'm not talking about only in Mendel Ray. Even if it is default render also, go back to Scanline Render. Even in this one also, the render page, the page, if you want to increase and decrease, you can come here down in from how can I get it? Press F10 on the keyboard. The render settings, I got it. Then here you can see size. You can choose any size. Usually for HD, we choose HD TV video. And you see the full HD 192080 or normal HD 1280 into 720. Then if you render, you can see the big one now. Then in this file, if you want to save it, you can click on this button, save image. Then you can desktop. I'm going to give a name. And choose from here what you need. If you need PNG, even you can use PNG or JPEG. PNG without background, you're going to get it. Press OK. Now you see your images here without background. When you open it, will show the white color. So this way you can save it. So I told you while I'm taking that Mental Ray itself, the size, how can we increase and decrease? Okay, that's all. So go back to NVIDIA Mental Ray. Now see, when after doing this one, when I start to render it, you know, there is some difference comes, right? Something happens now. You see, it's not like Scanline Render. 2-3 times is rendering. That means default there are some lights in 3dsmax. Default there is a light, default there is a material. So that bouncing and all also calculating. That's the reason 2-3 times it's render. When we do V-Ray and all, maybe 3 or 4 times will render. Like you can see the screen 1 time, 2nd time, 3rd time, it's doing like that. This is something like that only. So for doing the testing, like when you're working not final one, so no need to go to big one, because it take a lot of time. So do the small one. So it will be rendering very quickly. If in the small one, when it is okay, then only you need to think about the big, right? So you don't need to spend a lot of time for rendering. So I told you about how to change your settings to Mental Ray. How we do? F10 and choose from here. Choose from here NVIDIA method. This is the method we're going to choose. That's only I told you. Okay. Until now, when I press F10, I change this one to Mental Ray. Correct. Now we're going to discuss about material now. I go to material. Press material. M on the keyboard. Select a material. Standard. You see, these all are default Autodesk material is coming. I'm choosing something. Autodesk metallic paint, you know, for car paint and all. And I choose this is something default, they have set it already. When I drag and drop this one, you see that result, how it's going to come. You get a beautiful result on it. Of course, it's smaller now. But see the quality of the subject is much realistic, right? We can control a lot of things over here. Color can be controlled. You see, the spread, how much highlight have to spread, can control it. The fleeks on that, you know, small fleeks is that you can control. Many other properties. This is a default material. Similar, I choose another material. Standard. Maybe I'm going to use Autodesk solid glass. Is some material. When I drag and drop, when I render, I'm going to get a different result. Glass, we have many other things. At least there is no light in environment. That's why black color comes. Okay, that's why black color comes. What else I can show you? Standard mirror, which is Autodesk glazing, is not that much good. So this is something default. Okay, metal. It's nothing, just a reflective one. Even I do for both, you can see the reflection at least. Perfect reflections, a perfect result. Let me change the settings at least bigger to see. F10. How can I change the settings? In output size, choose this one 1 to 80720, and this one I do metallic, and below it is this glazing one. So you can see metallic result, and it's have reflection down. So we are getting beautiful result. You see, it's getting more photorealistic result. We are getting for the car bonnet and all. When you do this kind of material, you know, you see the small flakes also here. Okay, that quality we're gonna get is reflective, glossy is there, specularity is there, and very nice reflection also in this one we are getting. Okay, a quick revision again. Okay, one more time, very quickly, I'm gonna say, because I discussed many other things. Just remember the points only. Okay, first things, I press F10, change this one to change the render settings to NVIDIA Mental Ray. Second one, even you have the objects are here, you kept the objects. Okay, let's little bit segments more. Next things you need to talk about material, right? So you press M is the keyboard, we press M. If it is a new machine, it may go to the other method. So which you're more comfortable, you can choose from here also. This way also comes. So here also will be visible this one. Or you can go to the first method, which is not node based one. Now here, maybe a lot of material which you given, if it is full, what you can do, utilities, reset material editor slot. So it will clear everything. It comes like new now. Okay. Now, if you select an object, you select a material. If you want to assign this material to this objects, you need to click on this button, assign new material. If you want to see what you given exactly in viewport, you need to switch on this button, show shaded. So these two you need to switch on, then only you will be able to see that material. If you don't switch on this one, in rendering you will be able to see, but here you cannot. I will show you. I click on standard from here. Then I choose car metallic, right? So this one, how to assign, select and assign. So when you give any images and all, images, I cannot show you that. I'll show you another one now. Maybe for example, in a bitmap, a default material I have given, okay? This is the texture I have given on this one. Or I click assign. It's easy. Can you see here now? No. But if I render, I can see that. The material what I given. In rendering, it's coming on that. Right? Image is coming. Why not be able to, why I'm not seeing in the viewport? Because this is the option, show shaded material in viewport. You need to switch on it. Okay, I repeated that one. So our point is not this one. We need this one to assign. How can I assign? Select this one, assign it. Now we need to switch on this option also. Now this was one material I don't need, right? Now I was checking that, right? So I don't need. How can I remove this one? Take any good material which we have never used, drag and drop top of this. Now that will go. Select any material, drag and drop on top of this. Or we have many things here also, you can reset it. So there will be a doubt for everybody. When I reset it, it will remove all the existing material? Of course, no. If you reset your material slot also, your all material will stay. Can you see this is new now, but it is going or no? It is still there. If I render, you can see still all the material will stay there. Right. So how can I change this material now? How can I change this material now? Select any one material, use this eyedropper tool and pick on it. Select the material, eyedropper, pick. Now that material will come back. So there is no problem. Most of the people, when they starting 3dsmax, we have a problem. Even when I do, I thought that it is having around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, right? 4 into 3, 28. Only 28 slots. What can I do it after 28? So this will be a question, right? If it is full. So you can reset it, and how many materials, if you want, you can add it anytime. Okay. When you go to options here, I'm sorry. You can select this one. Maybe I want to see like cylinder. I want to see like box. This also you can change from here also. Okay, that's just to check from here. I will explain about that detail later. And there is nothing more to say here. While backlight, background, everything is fine. It's more about detailing this. Okay, now I selected this one, assign, standard, and I told you about, you can go to metal. In the metal, what's the benefit? There are many other type of aluminums, other chrome, other copper is there, brass is there. You can choose any one, which one you choose from and render. So this is what I discussed. So we complete one small session like this. Default material, how can we use in 3dsmax? The default Mendelray material.